Hey, Prime members. Are you tired of ads interfering with your favorite podcasts? Good news. With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free podcasts. That's amazon.com/ad-free podcasts to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Lowe's knows that free is just better. That's why MyLowe's Rewards is free to join. As a member, you earn points towards MyLowe's money on eligible purchases, get exclusive free gifts, and earn free shipping at Silver Key status, all on top of weekly member-only deals. Don't wait. Join MyLowe's Rewards for free today and start saving more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
So the dragon was Tyrion in a costume the whole time?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Wait a second. No, that is not what happened in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I don't even watch the show, and I know that can't be.
Yeah, no, I know. I didn't want to do any spoilers, though.
Good thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, guys.
Okay, what did you do?
Nothing. I actually was thinking maybe this...
Come on. Just release the balloons full of pee or whatever you did this week. Just go ahead and just do it.
Am I involved this time? Sometimes I'm involved in the thing you do. And
guys, I didn't plan any shenanigans this week.
You didn't?
Really?
No, this week's essay got me thinking, like, we play these exaggerated caricatures of ourselves on the show, but maybe for this week we could just, I don't know, maybe we just drop all that.
Drop all what?
You know, the digs at each other and ourselves, the hyperbole, just the constant negative attempts at humor. Like when you get right down to it, this week's story is about a lonely, vulnerable person on the internet. And I don't know, I just feel like putting on masks of our own feels like part of the problem. I mean, you guys are all so smart. We bring so much education and empathy to the table, and instead we're just going to limit ourselves to mean-spirited jibes at the subject.
What's happening?
I'm not saying it's as bad as some of the things on the internet, but maybe this week we
we can flip.
demonstrate our humanity. I mean, Heath, come on. Don't you want to show the world the real you? You're not some sad sack loser. You're an intellectual, and you have real and interesting things to say about this week's subject. You don't need jokes.
Oh, okay. I think I get what you're saying. You know what, Eli? You're right. This week, let's go ahead and we'll just do
right into the pee balloons.
God damn it! I fucking knew it.
Got him.
Yep.
Got him.
No, that is on me. I should have seen that coming. That is on me.
Let's be our real selves. I cannot
can't
believe
I
you
fell
fell
for
for that, Heath. I thought it was
classic Eli. I love that.
Yep. No. Got me. Totally got me. Wow.
You have real interesting things to say. Did you guys see
that was you. You sounded like that.
Yeah, it was covered.
Unbelievable.
With pee.
So dumb.
Smells.
You got me. Lots of blood in the pee.
Hello and welcome to Citation Needed, the podcast where we choose a subject, read a single article about it on Wikipedia, and pretend we're experts, because this is the internet, and that's how it works now. I'm Eli Bosnick, and I'll be the to this but I'll need some chatbots.
Those were doors opening and closing.
That's from the AOL Messenger. Remember those sounds, everybody?
No.
Oh, let's hope you're not new. First up, two guys who remember when catfishing was something you did with your girlfriend's dad, Cecil and Noah.
Is it catfish bait when you jerk off to someone's fake profile picture? Asking for a friend here. I'm just...
it's weird that that's your go-to definition when you don't know a phrase, Cecil. You throw that one out a lot, and I find that weird.
Also weird that he's always right. I just want to throw that out.
Maybe even weirder.
And also joining us tonight, two Luddites for whom this story is way too close to home, Tom and Heath.
Okay, all right. It's not that I'm opposed to the internet, Eli. I'm just opposed to the people on the internet. All of them.
Yeah, I mean, I got catfished a few times, but Still ended up in the friend zone somehow. It was a little depressing, if I'm being honest. Kind of offensive.
Before we begin tonight, I want to take a moment to thank our patrons. Without your financial accountability, we would all almost certainly be some kind of internet weirdos. If you'd like to learn how to join their ranks, be sure to stick around to the end of the show. And with that out of the way, tell us, Noah, what person, place, thing, concept, phenomenon, or event will we be talking about today?
The boy convicted of conspiring to murder himself. For real.
This is the craziest story. I know what's going to happen.
Do yourself a favor. Pause the podcast, get out a little pen and paper, write the craziest thing you can think of, and then at the end of the show, go back and shame yourself for how
You already lost.
ignorant you were. Now, Tom, you presented this as the frosting on your already excellent case against the internet. Are you ready to pulp this horse corpse?
It would be criminal not to at least try.
All right, so who was the boy convicted of conspiring to murder himself?
All right, well, let me start by taking you guys back to the year 2003.
Ninth grade.
Ninth year.
Fuck you. Fuck you for that.
You're the
Fuck
worst.
you.
30.
Fucking millennial. Boo. Go get a stamp, asshole.
Jesus.
All right, the U.S. had invaded Iraq, and the mission was swiftly and decisively accomplished. The Space Shuttle Columbia provided America with an unplanned fireworks show. The culinary world finally acknowledged the primacy of the freedom fry. Arnold Schwarzenegger became governor of California. The largest blackout in United States history plunged the northeastern U.S. into darkness, and a little thing called the internet was finally becoming both ubiquitous and affordable in homes across the developed world. It was truly a great year.
Yeah, and Heath graduated college with a degree in pseudoscience. That's right. Political pseudoscience.
All right, in a little place called Manchester, England, a young man whose real name is being withheld to protect the young and tragic, a boy whom we shall call Mark, was, like so many other teenagers, spending a significant amount of his free time trying to meet girls in MSN chat rooms, one of the first online spaces that allowed young people to connect anonymously and without having to have any real technological skills. Connecting through their browsers, kids, young, bored, and horny, greeted each other with the now delightfully anachronistic, "Hi, ASL?" And once everyone had properly lied about at least one of these three questions, the game was afoot.
I really am a 55-year-old male, but I lied about my location. I'm right behind you.
Okay, here's a question. Did chat rooms go well for anybody, like ever? I feel as though there is no better summary of the internet than nobody had a good experience in those things, but we kept going back.
All right, now, Mark was a tall, well-built young man. He had average grades and lived in an upper-middle-class area of Manchester, which, having personally been to Manchester, that's like a lower-middle-class area of Detroit, just to give you some comparison there. Now, he intended to attend a business college and was generally considered to be a likable, if somewhat bland kid that would probably have turned out to, you know, grow up to be the kind of guy whose sense of humor is generally limited to remembering and repeating movie quotes that he heard 10 years ago. All right, since being awkward around girls in real life make people feel weird, Mark took to online chat rooms to hone the skills that he would need to reduce both his social anxiety and his social skills from the convenience and privacy of his own home. More and more, Mark spent the bulk of his spare time chatting online, looking for girls, or, barring that, sweaty old men who could pretend convincingly.
Right, and by convincingly here, we mean get through the conversation without mentioning your penis directly. You didn't have to be that convincing. We didn't have high standards.
Now, Mark soon discovered an online girl named Rachel West, and Rachel seemed to be interested in Mark. Her online profile was totally a girl's name, and there was a slim, attractive girl's picture associated with that profile, and she lived conveniently in Manchester, so Mark and Rachel began talking more and more frequently. Swiftly, Rachel began to turn the conversation in lewd directions, and Mark was, well, delighted. Though Rachel declined to interact with Mark over the webcam because, you know, creepers.
What was she worried about? I mean, nowadays when we want to protect someone's identity on a documentary, we just film them with a 2003 webcam.
That's true.
Now, Rachel introduced Mark to her 14-year-old stepbrother, John, through the chat. John's young life was rather tumultuous. His birth father had once tried to abduct him, and his stepfather abandoned his family when he was only 7. So, kind of a little too much, a little too little. No baby bear moment for him.
Okay, this is clearly just one guy switching out skin masks and dummy accounts, right? Like, there's no other
Spoilers, Heath. Spoilers.
Did I really spoil it for anyone? Okay.
No.
Like Julian Assange with skin masks. Yeah.
So John and Mark bonded over the usual boring shit the teenage boys bond over. Movies and games and girls, mostly. Well, not like real girls, but like the idea of girls.
Right,
They weren't
yeah.
How you do
touching
it.
any girls. John and Mark frequently hung out over their webcams, playing games and talking shit to each other. And Mark and John soon became fast friends. But Mark was really more interested in chatting with Rachel than with her little brother, John.
Hey, John, can you do that thing where you talk in a real high voice and pretend to be your sister for me? Because I love it.
I sure can.
Sometimes Mark would, at Rachel's request, strip in front of his webcam, though Rachel never returned the favor. Their online chat was frequently sexual. Mark quickly fell in love with Rachel and declared this to her, which she totally and not at all suspiciously typed right back to him instead of saying out loud over the webcam. But don't worry, probably this all turns out okay.
Yeah, no, Cincinnati's a really nice place. So,
He's doing
Killing it.
fine. He's doing fine.
doing great.
So over the next several weeks, Mark, John, and Rachel hung out online and chatted during all of their free time. Mark was really kind of pressuring Rachel to meet in real life, but Rachel, despite being totally infatuated with Mark, was also totally too fucking busy for that. John, however, had some spare time, so he and Mark took their friendship offline and into the real world.
Hey, John, you want to get together in person and type stuff?
Hey, I bet if you stripped in person, I could really tell my sister the dimensions of your dick. Like depth and stuff probably gets lost on a camera.
Let's stick with conceptual penis. It's going great.
Now, in April of 2003, Kevin McGregor took to the online chat room that John, Rachel, and Mark were hanging out in. Kevin wrote all of his posts exclusively in a pink font, and he boasted of being a homosexual and tried to shock kids on the internet by being sexually crude.
That'll work.
He was pretty much beta testing YouTube's comment section ahead of the game. Kevin claimed he was a stalker with a foot fetish, so real catch for the ladies.
He's flipping through his huge collection of feet to find the quietest one so he can stalk better.
And that Kevin's name? Milo Yiannopoulos.
So John soon became worried that he was one of the people being stalked by Kevin. And Mark was at first dubious, but he became worried when Kevin's taunts began to include personal details of him and his friends' lives that should have been unknowable to anyone outside of the group. Kevin threatened to kidnap and rape Rachel if Mark didn't turn on his webcam, show Kevin his feet, and then jerk off on camera.
Oh,
You guys might think you know where this story is going right now, but trust me, I don't think that you do.
Yeah, the room full of post-Russia tampering cynics have no idea where this is going.
I mean, I honestly don't know how to feel about the fact that you think I know where this is going. like I know the next step in this scam. I don't know the next step in this scam.
Hold on.
Well, if you would read my blog.
I think I know Theresa May fucks a pig at the end, right? Classic story. I know that
All right,
one.
so Mark, in an act of love and protection for Rachel, turned on his webcam and he gave it a wank, and Rachel was safe from Kevin, the psycho rapist, homosexual, foot fetish cyberstalker. And that was great because this totally made Rachel way more hot for Mark. So that's...
Fun fact, that was actually the original ending to the movie The Bodyguard. Not a lot of people know. Costner didn't get the days.
Costner dives in front of Whitney Houston. He just falls. She's like, no. There's nobody trying to shoot me. Did you slow down in midair? It doesn't matter. I just need you to jerk it on the webcam. I should have been more clear.
Jump in front of the webcam, actually, is what I'm going to need you to do, probably.
Mark was pushing to finally meet Rachel, and they set a date and a time, having just come on his feet to protect the life of his as yet unmet teen love. Promised to be a memorable first date.
Question. Are you guys, if you're jerking onto your feet, what do you guys do? Are you aiming down or are you bringing the feet in close and going up and sideways at it? Like what's... How are you doing? I just wanted to.
This is a lonely moment for you right now, Heath. This is a lonely.
Poof.
Suck my
moment.
dick. Seriously, though, you're not what? Okay, whatever. Cowards.
I will just jerk off with my feet, Heath.
Wait, can you do that? Can you reach it? Do you mean like your 2 feet?
I should just say yes. No, I should just say yes to see what kind of injuries you have.
I'm hurting myself right now trying to like come close to what you're just. Damn it. How would you even do that? Hold on, let me take my jeans off. So you would I feel like I would just come in my hand and then wipe it on my feet to get back to the original question.
God. I'm
right?
sorry, Cecil.
How would you
listener? How would you do it?
That seems like the easiest. I'm just saying.
How would you do it, listener? Take our poll at the end of the show.
No, yeah. We're gonna get emails we don't want now.
Tweet us some video of you jerking off on your feet.
Wait. You like normal, you go into the sock and then you just put the sock on.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. I solved it. Never mind. We're good. I'm glad we talked through that. That was a very important moment for me. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, please. Tom, you were saying about
Mark arrived at the rendezvous point and waited, but Rachel didn't show. So just to be like totally safe, Mark stuck around. He waited several hours. I want to miss her before heading back home to stare at his computer, but found that Rachel was nowhere to be found.
All right, well, there's an old man at the bar eating pig's feet and mayo just staring at me. That's weird. That's probably unrelated. I'm going to go chat with Rachel online.
That's official. It's disgusting. Jesus Christ.
All right, Kevin McGregor had, however, reached out at this point to Mark. He sent Mark an email saying, "Thanks so much for the cool webcam foot job, but also he totally changed his mind and he kidnapped and killed Rachel anyway."
What?
He described the rape and the murder of Rachel in gross detail, just like murderers so often do in writing. Kevin taunted Mark by saying you weren't there for her no matter how much she screamed for you. To which Mark, and I love this so much, ever the wordsmith replied, "How could I be? I didn't even know where she was."
Yes. Away from keyboard. That's all I knew.
What we're saying here is internet debate hasn't come far over the years.
Now, for some reason, Mark didn't feel like he should mention the murder and rape to anyone, including the police or his parents. Instead, he just became depressed and withdrawn. And John stepped in to comfort Mark, though remember that John had also lost his real-life stepsister now to a murderer. But, sometimes when you're 14 and your sister's been killed, it's just your turn to be the rock for your 16-year-old online best friend who lost his never-before-met online girlfriend.
Right.
There you go.
Right. Classic. No, this is actually the original story of The Truman Show. Not a lot of people know that.
All right, but teenage dicks have memories like goldfish, so super-duper sad Mark quickly started chatting with a new girl online named Lindsay East, which shouldn't...
Come on, Mark.
Come on.
Mark.
Lindsay Wright. Lindsay to the right.
Everything that happens from this point on, I don't feel bad for Mark.
All right, now we shouldn't confuse Lindsay East at all with Rachel West or maybe Amanda South by Southwest. And no worries, she's totally real. Totally real. So... whatever. Lindsay and Mark began flirting, and Mark began falling now for Lindsay. So for her part, Lindsay was also smitten by Mark. And so like all teen girls do, she began hard pressuring Mark to perform sex acts on his webcam for her. Mm-hmm. And she was absolutely also going to turn on her webcam too one of these times. But you first again was kind of her thing. Then that's when things got weird.
Huh. All right. Well, if things are about to get weird, I'm going to need to practice my surprised face. So we'll take a quick break for a little ditty we like to call Apropos of Nothing.
From the makers of the internet comes the Blade Box.
Whoa, Blade Box.
Set up your Blade Box in seconds with just a touch of a button and place your hand inside and...
Oh, Jesus. Wow, that is painful. Okay, let's try it again.
Unlike the internet, The Blade Box works anywhere. No drop signals. No expensive plans. Just a box.
Ow. Okay. I got it this time. Roll it back.
The Blade Box. Demonstrably better than the internet.
Oh, motherfuck. Okay, last time.
And we're back. When we last left our hero, he had recovered really quickly from his girlfriend's murder. How did things turn out for Lindsay, Tom?
Oh, shockingly well. Lindsay began to trust Mark, a guy she knew exclusively online through an anonymous chat room. And so she naturally confided at Mark that she was actually a junior Secret Service agent for MI6.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, they have a JV squad. I've heard that. That's
I
true.
think they do.
MI6.
You get a learner's permit to kill. Yeah.
Lindsay confessed that the real reason she was in the chat room was that Mark's best friend John was actually under government protection. John was, after all, being targeted by Kevin McGregor, although John didn't know, and the government spies needed super secret anonymous civilian help to track down the murderous Kevin McGregor before Kevin killed John, and John absolutely couldn't know that he was in danger because that's somehow how that works.
Who knew Kevin was a Bond villain? Foot job.
Now, a few days after meeting Lindsay, Mark got an email from Lindsay that was, and I am totally not making this up, post-dated to be sent to Mark if she was killed. Lindsay Jr.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Lindsay, junior MI6 spy, had failed in her mission. It was now up to Mark to protect John.
Unreal.
And if you tell the cops, the poison from the top of this letter will activate and kill you.
This message will biodegrade.
Got to stay below 50 miles an hour for the next amount of time.
Now, I have a lot of favorite parts to this story, but I think this next part is my super favoritist because a few months later, Rachel, who, if you'll recall, was previously raped and murdered, she reappeared in the chat room. And at first, Mark was thrilled that Rachel was alive, but he was also really confused about the story because Rachel claimed that she actually hadn't been murdered, but instead she was held captive while in a coma. And she gave birth to Mark's baby while in a coma.
Can we all just, I think we all have questions. Go ahead. Sorry, you'll probably explain.
This really troubled Mark quite a lot because she had only been missing for about 3 weeks at this point, which is, I looked it up, the gestation period for a chipmunk.
She was pregnant with a fucking chipmunk?
No, the story is crazier than that.
Mark, to his credit, was probably at least 50% sure he wasn't probably a chipmunk. And also remember, they had never met in person, so he wasn't totally convinced that that's how babies happen.
Okay, I want to call this right now. Wherever this story ends, this next part coming up, this is the part that happened that the crazy lie is covering up. Just so everyone knows.
I'm sorry, are you sure you put a condom on that webcam?
Right? Did he e-file that shit? I thought only the IRS could fuck you that hard electronically.
Well, yeah, because this was pre-Zuckerberg. No, I think you're right. Yeah.
And pre-Assange.
Now, Mark was feeling pretty mixed up, but then Rachel just disappeared again from the chat room. And now Janet Dobinson appeared, and so Mark had bigger, way more confusing fish to fry. Janet, she typed in all caps because she was a grown-up and she was to be taken seriously. Thank you. Mm-hmm. She confided in Mark as well, saying that she was also a member of MI6 and she was looking to recruit a new spy.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Janet was undercover as a real estate agent. She ranked third in the whole of MI6, and she took...
Boo, bronze.
I love this part. She took great pains to make it clear to Mark that although she was in her 40s and married, she was still totally fit and down to fuck.
Mrs. Dobinson, Are you trying to seduce me? Wait, what is that? That sounds familiar. What is? Never mind. I'll be a murder spy. It doesn't matter. It's cool. I'm in on murder spy. Sorry.
Eli's just typing away. He's on the other side chatting with Mark. Weaving. I'm weaving this together.
Now let's get you out of those socks.
Mark, for his part, he was a little skeptical, having been burned online before, but Janet convinced Mark that he was being tested to be a secret agent and that he would be well compensated for his work, promising if he performed well, he would be a millionaire by next May. He would also get a chance to meet the Queen and the Prime Minister and maybe even bang Janet Dobinson if he played his cards right. So now that it all made sense, Mark's skepticism and world-weary cynicism faded, and he accepted the online job offer to be a Secret Service agent.
ZipRecruiter.com. They reach out to you. And within 24 hours, you find a secret agent for your listing.
He's sitting down with the HR person. Okay, this is your super Secret Service hiring contract. If you turn to page 2, you'll see our Friends with Benefits package right here.
I mean, we joke. But if you found out that this is how Trump hired his new Secret Service director, like you wouldn't even give it a slow blip.
No, not even a little.
All right, but lest you guys think that the job interview for Spy is just going to be some group interview and a chat with the CEO for 15 minutes, no. Mark had to prove he had the right stuff by completing a secret mission, which once accomplished would earn him his secret agent code number, his license to kill.
His permit to kill, like Noah said. His .007.
And it would afford him his trip to London, where he would complete his spy training. But again, only after he already did some spy stuff and a spy trial run kind of thing. That he was.
I'm going to call it right now. It's jerking off into a webcam again, isn't it?
Just getting your feet wet, buddy. Just getting your feet wet. Okay, Mark, so you'll need to get a pulley and some rope and a rubber mask for the trial.
Cool. Like Mission Impossible?
No. Pretty much nothing like that.
I know.
Tom Cruise would be into it, but it's pretty much otherwise nothing like that.
Now, Mark was asked to act as secret bodyguard for another teenager named James, who was also a spy, though James wasn't allowed to know that he was being guarded. And Janet Dobinson had to get clearance from the Prime Minister to tell this part of the story to Mark, but when she had that clearance to type Britain's super secrets into an MSN chat room to an anonymous just-hired teenage spy, Janet then revealed that there was a safe with jewels worth billions of pounds that lay at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously.
Okay, we're laughing. Maybe that seems silly to some of us, but...
Yeah.
Seems like the plot of a DC movie.
Yeah, the amount, by the way, was 168 billion pounds worth of...
Jesus Christ.
Sure. Of course. Yeah, obviously.
So much.
It's nice. It's just diamond. It's just one big
It's
diamond.
just Bill Gates sitting in a safe with his check. Just that's it. He's Bill Gates' checkbook.
And his friend Jeff Bezos.
Now, according to Janet Dobinson, several countries were aware of the safe full of, I guess, unobtainium jewels or whatever, but only the Queen of England has the combination.
Oh, it's a combination lock.
Absolutely.
Should we pick it up and break the safe open? That'd be rude. We don't want to do that.
Combination is safe with the lady with dementia, that's for sure.
Well, not that far off, because since secrets are annoying to keep to yourself forever, the Queen, I guess, told James the combination to the safe. So James now became something of a hot commodity, and he had to be protected.
Jesus Christ. Later on in his life, when Mark relates his story to people, he starts with, this one time at Bond camp?
Okay, just, sorry, real quick, to any of the listeners that are like, oh, I empathize with Mark. He's been... No. At this point, Mark is on MSN Messenger with the Queen of England. It's okay when these things happen, people. It's okay
not.
when these things happen.
It really is.
All right, you can join Noah's side.
So James, it turned out, also happened to be Mark's best friend, John.
Fuck out of here.
Somehow.
What?
It's not clear at all how. This made guarding John James easier since they pretty much just had to hang out all the time. And I guess Mark might have to maybe fight a Russian or something if they try to steal James John or whatever he's calling himself. John was thrilled to hang out more after school, probably because it was scary to carry the heavy burden of that awesome safe combination all by his lonesome.
Right, yeah, and nobody's just gonna take the box of diamonds from the bottom of the ocean if they don't know the combination first, because that would be a giant waste of time.
Now, Mark reported faithfully to Janet Dobinson, and Janet proved that she was watching Mark at all times through a network of other spies by revealing back to Mark details of his interactions with John that only Mark and John could know if they weren't being spied upon. Mark got another assignment from Janet Dobinson. His next assignment was to get John out of school without John getting in trouble. And so Mark pretended that he had been sent to get John to take him for a dentist appointment, which actually worked for the school, but not so much for John's parents, who, upon finding their son Truant, read his laptop to try to find their kid. And after finding him, John's mom and Mark's mom compared laptops and notes, and they both discovered that the boys had been talking with Janet Dobinson, and both boys at this point were warned to be careful about who they interacted with online.
Oh, jeez.
A warning that will seem almost painfully precious when this story is over.
Whoa. These moms found these messages and were like, stranger danger, kids, end of fucking conversation.
You know what? I'm starting to fear my son's jerking off on his feet for entirely the wrong reasons here.
You can finish this one spy mission, but that's it. That's it. From now on, no more doing that.
All right, so Janet gave Mark yet another assignment. So this was really like a shitty, rough interview process. And Mark's assignment, which was a matter of urgent national security, in which, if Mark did not complete, it could cost Janet her job as the third-ranking member of British Secret Service spy network MI6. His mission was to make John seem gay by performing a sex act on John.
Jesus.
Does John not seem gay already? I feel like he seems... We're already set with that.
So Mark, eager to protect God, country, queen, and the 401k of sexy realtor spy Janet Dobinson, slept over at John's house, watched a little porn with him, and then blew John. So the world was again safe for democracy.
He shows up at John's house like, all right, so, sit down for this. It's a funny story. I need to blow you or else the terrorists win. Oh, your dick's already out. Okay. That conversation was way easier than I thought it would be.
All right, so Mark passed that test and was set to receive... And was now set to receive his gun, £500,000 in cash, and his license to kill. Which in the States, we just call that standing your ground.
Yeah.
So,
No, you're just born with one of those, yeah.
Called being white.
Now, Mark was assigned his secret agent number, which was 47695, and he was pretty excited now to be a spy. That's true. He got the number. 47,000 spies. I think that's what they fit sequential.
I mean, you can put a double O in front of it. It's the same number.
Right.
It is.
But he was now thrilled to learn that his first official mission, as opposed to the unofficial ones he completed previously, he blew that guy, was to assassinate his best friend, John.
Yeah, I told you to blow him away.
Now, Mark was really conflicted on this one, particularly since his previous two missions seemed aimed at hanging out with and occasionally blowing John. So, but Janet was insistent that this had to happen, and he would be paid $80 million and would get sexual favors after the assassination, possibly from Janet Dobinson. Wink, wink. No, really. This is how spying works.
Jesus Christ.
All right, so you're gonna go to the park, and we're gonna face opposite directions on park benches, and we're gonna pretend to read the paper, and I will give you an awkward no-look hand job. That will be. And we'll switch briefcases for no
Janet
reason.
told Mark that John had an inoperable brain tumor, and so he was going to die terribly. So it really wasn't murder if Mark killed him. That is murder.
Just throwing it out there.
By the way, listeners, that doesn't mean you can kill the terminally ill.
Believe me, I got fired from Make-A-Wish.
Let Eli learn for all of you. Yes.
After Janet mentioned this fact, John, just apropos of nothing, later that day told Mark that he went to the doctor and had a terrible brain tumor. So this is now all on the up and up. Janet insisted that Mark was to stab John and say the words, "Trust me," to John as he died.
Okay, now, admittedly, in 97, this should have raised some eyebrows, but this is exactly how you apply for supervisory positions with Amazon.
But they got a sushi guy.
Now, Mark began preparing to kill his best friend. Janet told Mark to take John somewhere quiet, and then just before John drew his final breath, Mark was also to tell John that he loved him. Mark was also ordered to stay put after he stabbed John and then to wait for Janet Dobinson, who would show up in disguise to make sure he wasn't arrested. Mark was told not to call an ambulance, which I thought would have been a pretty standard part of assassinating someone. The mission abort code was 6969.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I love that Project Oral Sex's abort code was 6969. Oh, God, I feel like we're getting punked here. I don't know.
So Mark, super teen spy and budding assassin, asked John, I love this, to help him go knife shopping. And together they bought a 6-inch. Yeah, they bought it together. They bought a 6-inch chef's knife. And Mark was nervous.
Does this look good to you? Does this look like a good knife? Because it's important that you're here.
Can you just stand sideways really quick? I just want to hold it next to your body. Just want to see. No, this is good. This
Do you guys have a fitting room? Just real quick.
Mark was getting pretty nervous about the whole murder your best friend day that he was having, and he was really listening hard for someone to yell out 6969, but it just wasn't happening for him.
Okay, that's one chef knife. Your total tax is 6968. Oh, so close.
That would have been the funniest. Never mind. You wouldn't get it. You wouldn't
Anything in the take a penny jar? No. Off to the woods we go.
All right, so once they got somewhere quiet, but where 6969 could still be heard if a nearby secret agent were to yell it out. For real, Mark pulled out the knife that he and John had just bought together, and Mark explained to John that he had to kill him. He said, "I love you, bro," and stabbed his buddy in the chest. John yelled out and fell crying, "You've killed me."
Always technically a false statement if somebody says that.
It is.
To which Mark replied, "Don't say that. Don't let that be the last thing you're saying." And then Mark then picked at John all the way up and said, "Trust me," and then stabbed him again in the abdomen.
Sorry. MI6 said you'd know what I meant by that. Trust me. Does that help?
Rosebud?
It sounded better in my head. Stupid.
Nobody puts John in the corner. No. Roll it back. Roll it back.
I may actually put you in a corner.
A coroner?
Oh, no. So Mark then sat down and waited for Janet Dobinson.
Dead people go to a coroner. Suck my dick!
So Mark then sat down and waited for Janet Dobinson to arrive as his best friend John lay in a pool of his own blood.
Just like talking to people as they walk by him. Like, I know it looks weird. It's cool though. It's cool. I'm with MI6 Junior. This is embarrassing. It's not. It seems bad. No, my boss is just late. I'll explain it. I blew the dead guy so he'd seem gay. For the Queen of England asked me
the diamonds
to do that.
in the ocean.
Moving along. Come on. You never seen a guy who blew a dead guy so he'd seem gay for the Queen. All right, I'm the only one who does that. Weirdos. You guys are weird.
My girlfriend just died. It's been a hell of a week.
And now she's back from the dead? You don't know what I'm suffering through.
Pregnant with a chipmunk. It's crazy.
My toes are all stuck together.
I sprained my leg trying to bring it all in close. I should have just gone into the sock and put it on like Heath said earlier. Heath is part of this universe. You're being weird.
Shockingly, Janet didn't arrive. So after a while, Mark called 999 and lied to the police that his friend had been attacked by a random stranger. The police reviewed the camera footage because England is covered in cameras and discovered pretty readily that this was complete bullshit. And the police quickly figured out that Mark had attempted to murder John.
Well, damn it. Now Janet will have to disavow any knowledge of his group's activities.
John underwent emergency surgery to repair his liver and the stab wounds, and he actually survived. And he initially declined to tell police that Mark was the one that stabbed him, but after the police showed him the security camera footage, John was like, yeah, it was totally Mark that stabbed me. Mark also cracked under the police pressure, though he didn't flip on Janet Dobinson right away, claiming instead that he heard voices that made him do it. And all the while, he was confident that any moment now, Janet was going to show up and he would be released.
Just talking to people in jail like, I know it sounds like a crazy story. No, I blew the dead guy so he'd seem gay because of the diamond vault with a bike lock on the bottom of the ocean. It's for the queen.
It's the old story. I'm not going to bore you. Public intoxication, huh? Oh okay.
So you just take the sock. I'm telling you, this is genius.
So I love this. A month into being detained, Mark figured out Janet might not be coming after all. So he confessed everything to the police. The police set about trying to figure out the identity of Janet Dobinson, the woman who had manipulated the gullible Mark into stabbing his best friend.
Whoever could she be, Tom?
Yeah, right. Reveal the mystery for us, Tom.
So analyst Sally Hogg began analyzing the mountains of chat room activity and discovered that the cast of characters involved in the deception of Mark that led him to believe that he was a government assassin were all one person.
Oh, no.
She discovered this because 5 of the 6 chat room users always misspelled the word maybe the same way.
It's me.
Janet Dobinson, Kevin McGregor, Lindsay East, Rachel West, they were all characters controlled by one chat room user, and all of them pointed to both Mark and John. So John's mother allowed the police access to John's computer. They discovered that the call was coming from inside the house. Also, the call was coming from John, the stabbing victim, who convinced Mark to do the stabbing of him.
Jesus.
Guys, I got this dude to come on his feet and also blow me, I swear to God, for national security. How do I top this? I gotta escalate it somehow.
A penetration.
Upon examination, John's life had actually been very, very bleak.
Really?
Yeah, shocking, right? He was actually addicted to online chat. He had stopped eating. He was bullied in school. He was moody, sullen. He was withdrawn. The only time he ever seemed happy was when he was online. He took up the Rachel persona, and he finally felt connected to someone. He felt loved, though that love was between Mark and Rachel, which was obviously problematic. So then he invented Kevin to kill Rachel.
Oh, I feel really bad. Oh, no, I don't feel bad for him at all. Sorry, you were saying?
John had fallen in love with Mark and in real life had completely retreated from everyone else in the real world. John lived to interact with Mark, inventing a growing and ever complex cast of characters to always keep Mark on the hook. It all seems utterly mad, but John's ability to create characters was so adept that he fooled police investigators until they caught on to the misspelling problem.
Oh, how could they ever crack the code of someone using a different color font or capital letters? I mean, he's basically a fucking wind talker, this guy.
If this story isn't the best summary of police incompetence on the internet, I don't know what is. No, because the Mark one's blue, you see.
So John created the Janet Dobinson character as his suicide method. He wanted Mark to tell him that he loved him, and he wanted that to be the last thing that he heard. Mark was arrested for attempted murder, and John was the first person in British history to be indicted for incitement to murder himself.
I feel like it would have been a Scottish guy at some point who would have taken that record.
Mark, for his part, was flabbergasted to discover that Janet, Rachel, Lindsay, and Kevin were all actually his 14-year-old friend who totally, it turns out, did not have a brain tumor at all.
Huh.
I know. Both boys pled guilty to their crimes. The justice believed Mark thought that he really was a spy, and she also believed that John was really just a sad, lonely kid who needed a lot of help. And although the charges would normally warrant long prison sentences, John was instead banned from online internet access outside strict supervision and got 3 years of non-custodial supervision. Mark was given 2 years of non-custodial supervision and was also banned from chat rooms for life.
Which turns out to be the same as a 2-year ban, functionally speaking. Yeah.
In 2003, the same year that all this madness happened, MSN announced that they were shutting down their chat rooms as they didn't feel that they could be made safe from predators. So it's kind of nice that these crazy kids snuck this one right under the gun. That's almost didn't happen for him. This story has since been made into a theater production called I Love You, Bro, and an opera titled Two Boys.
Oh, they should have gone La Bro M.
Now, John and Mark are fake names, though no news exists on the fate of Mark. John is reportedly happily living with his partner and pet pug and always searching for a new best friend.
And if you had to summarize what you learned in one sentence, what would it be?
The internet made me sad before I even used it.
Yeah, yeah, it did.
Give a man a catfish, he'll come for a day.
Are you ready for the quiz?
I have my license to ill. Kill. Damn it. Misspelled it. Now I'm caught.
All right, Tom, what do they serve at the dinner theater where they perform I Love You, Bro? A, mock cherry pie. B, fettuccine.
Fantastic.
C, fillet of catfish and fapiote. I was pretty proud of that. Fapiote's pretty funny. Fuck you guys. That's funny.
Phenomenal.
That's funny. Or D,
That one has to simmer for a second.
ocean fresh combination platter.
Well, I got to go D because only James John knows the true answer.
So true. Absolutely, positively D. He gave him the D.
All right, I got a good one for you. All
right.
Which of the following COPA guidelines might best protect our young listeners from falling for a similar scam? A, only stab friends with a knife you know and trust. Buy it that day. B, the hot chick you met on the internet always looks like Eli but dirtier.
Yep. It's true.
C, always ask prospective employers to write today's date above the nipple before taking the tit pic. Or D, if you blowing someone is a step in the plan is how to get you to blow that person. Also, it's their plan.
Oh, I want that on a pillow.
Oh my God.
All right.
That's the T-shirt. That's the
is
citation needed
citation
T-shirt.
needed T-shirt right there. Absolutely.
All right, it's D, and we didn't all learn that lesson naturally. Fine. All right.
But we all learned that lesson is what we're saying.
All right, Tom, which of the following should be the title of this episode? A, pounded in the butt by my own bot.
Phenomenal.
B, everyone on the internet wants to slip into your BMs. Or C, Tom got drunk and catfished himself in 2003.
Okay, I was high, not drunk, so it's not C. A, I like the Chuck Tingle reference, but I'm going to have to go with B because I believe that's true.
Sorry, it was you catfished yourself in 2003.
I did. You got me.
Classic. All right. This week's winner is Heath. Who do you want to do the essay?
Oh, I'm thinking my best friend Cecil.
Oh, best friends.
Mwah.
Burns on the way out.
Best
All right.
friends.
Well, for Cecil, Tom, Heath, and Noah, I'm Eli Bosnick. Thanking you for hanging out with us today. We'll be back next week, and by then, Cecil will be an expert on something else. Between now and then, you can hear Heath, Noah, and I on the Scathing Atheist, God-Awful Movies, and the Skeptocrat, and you can hear Tom and Cecil over in Cognitive Dissonance. And if you'd like to help keep this show going, you can make a per-episode donation at patreon.com/citationpod, or leave us a 5-star review everywhere you can. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, check out the past episodes, connect with us on social media, or check the show notes, be sure to check out citationpod.com. And remember, if blowing somebody is a step in the plan is how to get you to blow that person. It is their plan.
Heath, are you in here?
Yeah.
In the dark?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. Good night, I guess.
Good night. Got me though. Totally got me. Blood balloon.